Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. It's Tuesday. We're going to be working on some character commissions. It's a little dicey down here. We've been, hello Potato, welcome to the stream. Thanks for coming by. It's been a little dicey down here just because we had the basement, like there was like this old tile in the basement. We had it all ripped out. So I haven't been down in the office. I've been working on my laptop upstairs. But we're back down here and we're trying it, but some reason there's a little bit of paranoia and anxiety kind of setting in, because I don't fully know if I should be down here still. So we're gonna try it and we're gonna see how we're doing, and but we're gonna just kind of dive into this commission here. There's some work I have to do down here, some animation stuff and all that, so I have to be down here either way. So let's. We're gonna try to stream this week. So we get some commissions that we have a backlog of commissions, got a lot of them. Trying to wrap this one up this week. Oh, not on the right layer. There you go. We basically have like the base coat in, kind of just going from top to bottom and tightening things up, and then I'll kind of do that and do another pass to finish. Potato, hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us on this fine Tuesday. I don't really love the hand, so I might change it. Yeah, we'll address that later. Hell yeah, I took a week off work, just taking chill vibes. That sounds rad. Yeah, enjoy it. Hopefully we can help bring some of those chill vibes today. I was wondering why my brush was like being all weird. I'm using the wrong brush. Here we go. That's more like it. I love vacations where you just like get to chill. My wife likes to travel a lot. Which is nice. I like traveling too, but man, sometimes I just like a vacation where you just vibe. And I think like that's kind of why I like my kids in school. My wife's a teacher, so it's like they both get summer vacation, so they're off for like 3 months, and I'm still working. But sometimes like I'll take like a random day off here if I'm kind of like caught up with work and stuff, and there's no real like pressure to like, I'll take like just a day off, and it's really nice to just like kind of like chill and not worry about anything. So yeah, they like the basement, they removed all this old tile because our house was built in like the 50s. So they removed all this tile that probably had asbestos in it. So they removed all of it, and at first I trusted it. I was like, yeah, this is fine. Like it looks great. But then like my wife kind of put this anxiety in my head that like she doubts it a little bit. So now I'm kind of like, I was convinced, and then I come down here and I'm like, what if I'm wrong though? You know what I mean? So now I'm like, I feel my anxiety setting in. So now all of a sudden I'm coughing, having minor breathing issues because like the panic is setting in. So yeah, I don't know how long streaming will last down here this week. Maybe I'll settle into it and realize I'm fine. The issue with like it's weird, right? Because like the issue with like asbestos stuff that they talk about is like you don't know if there's an issue, like if you got like asbestosis or cancer or anything like that, for like 10 to like 40 years. Like they're just like, you won't know for forever. And it's like, so I don't know if I'm right or wrong, and I won't know for a decade, which is like, for someone with anxiety, is probably like the worst thing, because you need certainty. So it's like, that's the least certain thing I could probably get, is like, I might be wrong in like a decade. So it's not really, yeah, no, it's like, but I just tell myself, like, we saw the air quality results, you know, they're it's gone, but it's like, yeah, I'm still finding dust. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like there's like no dust everywhere, and like, is it in the dust? I don't know. You start to worry about all that crap. Start to make up scenarios in your head. Anxiety sucks. Oh. That's why. Haven't been on this computer in a while, and I'm noticing like all these settings are different from what I remember. Here, I'll actually zoom in. I'm not really working on the lower half yet. I mean, I might go clean up the tail really quick, but I'll zoom in on you guys' screen so you guys can see a little better. I'm not really working on like the feet or anything like that right now, so. Man, I've been getting a lot of tiefling commissions lately, and it made me realize that, like, I kind of hate painting tails. Like, I just don't, I don't know. Like, sometimes they end up like, I think I get really picky about them. Like, how like sometimes your lines can make it like thicker in spots where it needs to be so precise. It's like buildings, you know. It's like if you don't make your edges crisp, they get like this weird like wobbly effect to them. But you could be so fluid with like other parts of like the body and stuff. Like you could be much looser with things like hair and stuff like that. You don't have to be as precise. But like a tail, something that doesn't have other things kind of interacting with it, it feels like it needs to be much more even playing D&D down here, like I have a weekly D&D group that I run a game for, and like when I was down here, I was like, I had to like end the game early because I was like, I don't feel completely comfortable down here yet. But yeah, I'm starting to feel a little better down here. I think it's just you don't know the process enough, so then you don't really trust. You don't like wholly trust it. And then you would like say you find like, you know, things that you didn't expect, like I didn't expect to find, like the way that they, when you talk to the company, right, they're like, it's gonna be like a brand new basement, but then you're finding like dust and shit everywhere, and you're like, this doesn't feel brand new to me. So in your head you're like, did you do a bad job, or is this normal? I don't know. Sorry, I'm making the whole stream about asbestos. Didn't expect that. I'm all done now. And I think it's healthy to like question things, right? Like, I think it's healthy to question things and be like, asbestos streams are the bestest. Oh, that's amazing. I kind of like want that to be the tagline of the stream from now on. Like now it makes me want to like start an asbestos stream. Asbestos for the best of us. Oh man, that was good. Like I remember a similar feeling to around when COVID started. Because right around when COVID started, we started seeing cases happening in, I remember exactly, it was right around PAX East. Like, and I was going to PAX East, and it was like the first couple cases showed up in Massachusetts. Like it was like, they said they had like 2 or whatever. So then, you know, you go to PAX East, and you're like, all right, I'll just wear, like, I'll make sure, I end up washing my hands, like, so much that I, like, hurt my hands. Like, I'm, like, making sure, like, you know, you're worried the whole time, paranoid the whole time. And then but I had a great time at PAX, it was great. And then you get home and, like, you start to, like, anxiously give yourself, like, your mind convinces you you're sick. And you start to have, like, symptoms. And since COVID at the time was so unknown, like, you start to think that you have COVID if you have, like, breathing problems from a panic attack. So that just makes things worse. Like I actually legit got sick for, like, 2 days, and I didn't have COVID or anything. But I just, like, once I settled down, I was fine. It was wild. It was, like, a 2-day long panic attack, basically. It was really bad. And, like, that's kind of, like, I don't know, like, I don't feel like I have anxiety with, because everyone's anxiety is kind of like different flavor, you know, like it's like certain things kind of trigger it. And I feel like I have some friends and like family that like it's much more rational, and I feel like my anxiety gets triggered by very like irrational things, you know what I mean? I feel like I can think more rationally about stuff that I feel like people usually get anxious about, but then I'm like really weird about things that I probably I don't have enough knowledge about, so then it's just like it triggers it really bad. It's that certainty, you know. Which I think is the common thing with anxiety in general, but I think it's like, what are we looking for certainty in? I think is like what makes it different flavors a lot. So yeah, right now it's like very similar feeling. It's like my head's convincing myself that there's something wrong, when based on all the evidence that I know of, there's nothing wrong. And eventually I'll work through it. But right now it's rough. Right now. Like all of a sudden I'm coughing, breathing issues. And I hate it, man. I'm trying to like push through it right now, which is not a great situation, but yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to work down here at some point, and I have to figure it out. I have nowhere really to put my main computer anywhere in the house outside of this office, so I gotta be here. So yeah, I'm really digging this character so far. I actually went ahead and did like a lot of like the rim lighting pretty early on, just because I wanted to kind of give it, I don't know, something about adding that made me more motivated for working on it. I don't usually do it that early on, but yeah, man, work is wild. Like it just keeps happening. Like you have like these quiet, like you have like a quiet month, right? And you're like, all right, stuff's quieted down. But then like you get all these feelers out, because you can't have too many quiet months, right? So like you spend your whole quiet month getting feelers out, trying to get work for the future. But then you're kind of in your headspace of being like, okay, I'll probably get a couple things here, a couple things there throughout the rest of the year, basically booking out the rest of the year. But what happens a lot is you get it all at once. So then you're like, all that extra time that you were like planning on working on personal projects, like I have a board game I'm working on called Rune Rally that I'm like so close to being done with, but like now I'm at like the minutia of like designing the rule book, converting it away from just a Word doc, and like I basically have the box, the rule book, and 2 more tracks, and the game is completely done. And I just like can't get to it, because it's like all of a sudden everyone wants work all at once, and now I'm getting like overwhelmed with how much work there is, and it's awesome. Like it's a weird problem to have, right? Because it's like you want to be grateful for all the work, but at the same time you're like, whoa, let's slow down. So it's just really it's about time management, I guess. But and I just always find it funny, like how it all tends to happen, how it just all kind of works out in weird ways. And then I always tell myself, I'm like, man, I wish I could just like hire someone, like I wish I made I wish I made enough to hire another person and like give them like a good enough wage to like justify hiring a person. But I unfortunately, I don't think I make enough for that. But because it would be nice to have somebody that like manages the shop, so I don't really have to. It's one less thing I have to manage. So I could focus more on commissions, because the shop takes up like a chunk of my time, like a big chunk of my time. There's also designing my website and trying to update my website so I can update my portfolios easier, trying to make it not only make the portfolios look more fun, but make them like not I'm trying to make the experience of the website more fun for people that are on desktop and stuff, but also trying to make the portfolios easier to update. So I've been trying to do that. Let's go back up here, zoom in on the face a little bit. Oh, thank you. Did you look at the current website, like creativeoutpouring.net, or did you look at the post I did about my website redesign on Patreon? Because the new website's gonna look dramatically different. I like my current website. The issue is there's certain aspects of it that I'm kind of like, oh, I wish the gallery was able to be displayed a little differently, and I want to break the .NET one. All right, so yeah, you looked at the current one. Yeah, I love it too. I'm glad you dig it. But yeah, no, I changed. Here, actually, you know what? I can go. I'll show you guys really quick what I'm working on, because I love it. So I'm up for sharing where we're at here. But I have to, give me one sec. Hold, please. I wanted to kind of, because recently we've been kind of doing this like quote unquote rebrand, like as you can tell with like the stream overlays and graphics and all that stuff. So it doesn't really fit the current format of the website. So I was like, all right, well, let's make something that kind of works with that. So I'm working on a website that kind of fits more that look, but still showcases my art the way that, you know, my art is made. It's very much a work in progress. So here. So this is my website so far. Oh, let me switch to, how do I get rid of this? Nope. I don't know what I'm doing. This. All right, so this is my website currently. So then it focuses like around this shape here. So as you scroll down, it's gonna load a little bit slow. This transitions to this. So like it would kind of like do this thing. And then it's all loading really slow. So then this is not, this section I'm still working on. Like ignore that. That's crap. That's crap. All right, character. See, I'm still in the middle working on it. So then character I wanted to display like they were like toys. I thought would be a fun way to display them. And they auto rotate and stuff. Trying to make them, you know, fit within the box too has been a challenge, but it works really well with most of them. A couple of them go out, so I'm going to change them. So then, you know, working on a section there. And then I have, for my shop, I wanted it to look like a scrolling effect was making like a pop-up image. It's all loading really slow, so it doesn't really have the same effect. So like if you go back, you know, kind of like this thing. And then this, you know, you can click on the store. This is supposed to all click, so I think that might have got changed. So then you have contact down here, which is kind of similar to what's already at the bottom. But yeah, so that's basically the website so far, minus, you know, all the janky, like, I don't know what is going on there. I changed that. But yeah, so that's basically where we're at with the website so far. And it kind of, you know, works with what's going on with the look of, you know, the stream and everything like that. So I'm in the middle of that right now, but that's again on hold because there's so much other work that takes priority because they have deadlines. So yeah, it's kind of where we're at. Let me close that so I can get back to this character commission. So yeah, like I really liked the old web design. I was really happy with how it turned out, but it just doesn't really fit Creative Outpouring 2.0, you know. All right, I need some like Good morning, Seth Petrullo on watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for coming by. So glad you like a potato. I really appreciate it. Yeah, like it's still a little rough around the edges for sure, but yeah, I definitely think it's I'm loving it. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I think hopefully when people at least view it on the desktop. Mobile right now is a disaster. I have to figure that out, a mobile version of it, but it won't be as fun. I don't think you can get scroll effects and stuff, but yeah, I'm hoping that it provides like a fun experience, and makes people stick around and look at the work and stuff as well. Because that was one thing I was proud about the old website as well, is like when I looked at the analytics of my website, people stuck around on the website for a decent amount of time. People seem to, which implies people like to kind of hang out there for a bit. And Seth, how are you doing today, man? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm hoping to have the website done like absolute latest by like the end of the year, but we'll see. Wait, this is... And yeah, and if you I don't know if rad, the algorithm is helping me today. Thank you so much, Seth, for checking out the stream. I hope you're digging it so far, and welcome. And I'm trying to work on the overlay. Also popping up the YouTube chat as well. I don't know what happened to it. It was working one time, then it stopped working. Hopefully I can address that soon. But Potato, I don't know if you follow Patreon, but if you do, you can follow it for free. And I think free members can also see it. I go into like the whole branding refresh thing. It's in one of the posts. I think it's just a blog post, so you could search it by that tag, just blog posts or whatever. And I kind of I keep updating it occasionally with stuff. I also made a post about my website as well. So if you're interested in the the thought process behind all that, yeah, I chat about it like in detail on there. So yeah, feel free to check that out if you haven't already. And for anyone else that's watching, you can follow it for free. Patreon.com/creative outpouring. Follow for free or for paid, whatever you feel like doing, whatever you feel comfortable with. I mostly just do it because I'm trying so desperately to get off of social media as much as possible, because my God, if it's not using my art to train AI, it's not letting people see it. So awesome. Thank you so much for the follow. And yeah, if you search, even if you scroll down to on there, if you scroll down to my post about the website, I do link the old post about the branding in there, so you can like see the whole thing that I updated, and you can see all the stuff that I've worked on. Mr. Tades, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for hanging out. Really appreciate it. We're back. A little bit, at least. hopefully. I get bummed when there's like a long stretch where I don't stream, because I actually really enjoy it. And I have a lot of stuff to work on right now to justify doing a stream. We just haven't been able to get down here. And my laptop's not capable of doing that. That thing chugs. So yeah, we're just kind of like in the fine details of stuff right now. Still trying to figure out, you know, what kind of dagger I want here. Do I want the typical, or do I want to make it, you know, needs to be something kind of small, actually. So maybe like a knobbed hilt, like a thing that like gets, it doesn't have like a thing that extends out, because she hides it. So maybe I do something a little more like this kind of thing. I don't know, we'll figure that out. I can zoom in a little bit more for you guys, because I'm pretty much working up here, so zoom in. Really happy with the face. Still not done. You get some highlights and stuff to do, but I'm pretty stoked on it. Here, we'll clean this up. Yeah, but yeah, also, Potato, we've been talking about, you know, the basement remodel stuff. There's so much crap in this office. It's crazy, because we moved everything that was in the basement down into this office here. So there's like baseboards that they ripped out to do the basement work that are just sitting next to me in a pile. There's a couch in here, like a love seat right here behind me, which I kind of dig. I kind of want to just keep it in here because it feels very like therapist kind of vibe. Like I kind of dig. Like maybe sometimes I just want to lay on the couch and like think about stuff. I don't think it really like, you know, actually fits very well in here, but yeah, no, there's just like a pile of stuff on my drafting table, and yeah, just a mess. Absolute mess. I don't think that. I'm always so surprised when people check out art streams, because I never know how entertaining they are, because they are very like chill, slowed down. Like, man, I'm getting sun-baked in my camera here. They're very chilled, slowed down. Like I'm just like chipping away, like it's like you're just kind of chipping away at little things here and there, and you never know how, you know, entertaining that is. But it's cool when people check it out. I'm really grateful. It's awesome. So thank you so much, guys. Also, if you want to see, like, I do have a YouTube channel for videos as well, if you want to check out, because we are streaming on YouTube as well, but I do full process videos. Like, I have a series called Adventure Log where I narrate my process while I do it, and those videos are slightly longer. I have speed paint videos that are just like 5-minute long videos of like the whole thing start to finish. And I'm hoping to have a new video. I kind of need to have a new video of Adventure Log this week. Just gotta narrate it. The whole thing's edited and ready to go, but I just gotta narrate over it. So that should be up this week at some point. Probably Friday. I believe they're early for Patreon followers or paid patrons. Took a day early. Excuse me. I'm going to switch back to this old display here so you guys can like see where I'm at a little better. I'm drawing in Photoshop. Sometimes I sketch it in a sketchbook first, and then I scan it in. This one, I just sketch straight up. I'm drawing in Photoshop, and I'm currently drawing on I have a Wacom tablet, HD 22-inch, I believe. I have to measure it, but I'm pretty sure it's 22-inch. 22 or 24. And yeah, that's kind of it. Configure video, man. This is wild what's happening here. I'd rather be pitch black than washed out. If I go any darker, I'm talking about conspiracy theories or something. If I get, you know, this dark. Hello, welcome to the channel. You know, stuff like that. So I don't want to go too dark. I guess it's gonna be okay. Yeah, no, so I primarily draw in Photoshop. I've done, like, you know, Clip Studio Paint and stuff a couple times. I think the next laptop I get will probably be an iPad, and I'll just do Procreate. But the issue is I don't think I can ever really kick Photoshop unless I find like really good alternatives to like InDesign and Illustrator. And there have been some that people have shared, but they don't quite. The issue is they need to also talk with people that have Adobe products. Like I work with a lot of clients that are like that handle pre-press and all this stuff, like, and they do printing and stuff, and like they just use InDesign, and so I don't know. Every time I ask that question to somebody that says about alternatives, they never answer me. So, so I don't know if that means they don't have an answer, like as in it doesn't do that, or they just don't know. So I have to really dive in and do a lot of research to alternatives. But yeah, I would love to like just get off of Adobe. I'm so sick of it. Their programs are trash, and their service is trash. And their company is trash. For sure. I think what I do like though is I do feel like Procreate is kind of like leading the charge against like, you know, being like pushing against that tide, that monopoly tide for sure. So I definitely want to try to support them if I can. So I think I'll still get Procreate either way. Like if I get my next laptop will probably be an iPad, and I'll probably get Procreate. I wish they would do a Windows version. Like I would just get it on Windows right now instead. But it still doesn't like. It's just more like, yeah, that like what you just said. It's like they know they've cornered the market on certain things, and since they've become like this industry standard. Like it's created a lot of problems in terms of trying to get off of that stuff. And I think what bothers me like a little less than that, but still a lot, is like a lot of people on social media just like they're speaking from such a narrow point of view in terms of like what they do, like their art or their design. And they're just like, just get off of it. Here are all these alternatives. And I'm like, that's easier said than done. If you're working in multiple facets and multiple areas in the creative space, and you're working with other companies that also communicate in those Adobe products, like those, they have certain file types that only they have, that they need to communicate in terms of how it works. So it's like, so Adobe talks to each other essentially like they have file formats that they made of their files that like communicate with other file formats, that communicate with other programs in their suite of programs. Not well, mind you, but they do. So like say I make a book in InDesign, which is a page layout program. As far as I know, I don't know this for fact, so don't quote me on it. I haven't done enough research into it. But like, as far as I know, if I make a thing in InDesign, it's an InDesign file. If I make something in another program that's a page layout like Quark Express, I can't save it as an InDesign file, so I can't send an IDML or an InDesign file to a pre-press company that needs InDesign files. You know what I mean? Luckily, a lot of companies just need PDFs, which is also an Adobe product, so I don't know if that's a thing that... I don't think it's prevented. I think you can make PDFs in any program, like Windows and stuff. But it still creates an issue in terms of like if a company needs a raw file to edit because there's an issue that they need last minute, which I do sadly come across with one of the companies I work for a lot. They always have last minute things that need to get changed and they need the raw file to do it. So like if I'm sending it over to them, if I've done it in Quark and I can't send them an InDesign file, but they only have InDesign, now I'm holding up production because I don't have software that aligns with the companies I'm working with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. So like there are some counters to that, right? So like Clip Studio Paint, aka like Manga Studio, whatever it was, they do work in like they have you can save as Photoshop files, I'm pretty sure. So there are some companies that dabble into it, but none of those companies cover all the bases the same way Adobe does. So it's like there's no Clip Studio Paint equivalent of InDesign. So like, okay, Clip Studio Paint helps you with the Photoshop part of it. Okay, I'll replace Photoshop with Clip Studio Paint. Great. Now I have to find a replacement for InDesign. Well, InDesign, the natural replacement would be Quark Express. But I don't think Quark makes InDesign files. I think they make Quark Express files. Last I used it, but the last time I used it was like 2002, so I have no idea. But as far as I can tell, my main holdback is that I can't jump off. Like, I'm paying for the creative suite of products, right? So if I find a replacement for 2 out of the 3 products, I'm still paying for 3 products. You know what I mean? And the only way I get the discount that I get is by having the creative suite. So it's like, I don't get a discount if I get one program. I'm paying, full price for that one program, which the discount I get is pretty good. So it's like, you're figuring all this stuff out and balancing all this stuff out and like what's better, what's worse. So it's not that it's impossible, it just takes a lot of time. And unfortunately, time is not really a thing that I want to invest into it at the moment. Like, to be completely honest with you. And it also involves like a ton of communication with companies. Like being like, hey, I don't use InDesign anymore. Is that a problem? You know what I mean? Like, it's super confusing and irritating. And I think what's more irritating is that you have a lot of artists on social media saying like, screw Adobe, get off of Adobe, here's how you do it. But they say it so matter-of-factly, like anyone can just do it. And since social media now has been so polarizing, it's like, if you don't do it, you're part of the problem kind of thing. It's like, well, no, I can't. You know what I mean? Like, I want to, I would love to. But every time I ask a question to one of these people that are preaching that I should get off of it, they can't give me an answer. And it's like, they're just like, oh, do your own research. And I'm like, yeah, I will when I can. But like, if you're touting it like you have all the answers, I ask you for one of those answers that you say you have all of, and you can't give it to me, then that just makes me feel like you really don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, and I just think it creates more of a divide among artists who should be kind of like sticking together, trying to figure this stuff out together. And like, and I don't even necessarily think that like artists are actually saying like, if you're doing this, you're wrong. But I do think with social media and their limited characters and all this stuff that like people have limited space to like communicate in now. So it creates a lot more divide than it actually needs to. Because people are trying to summate stuff in like smaller chunks. And that just creates more problems. And that's why I shifted to things like Patreon, because I can just like go write a post that people can see that follow it, that are interested enough to see something that's either longer or shorter that goes in depth. And that's why I kind of shifted more over there, because that's another thing I'm kind of sick of is social media. Like, it's hard, man. Like, there have been aspects of social media that I'm like, yeah, this is good. But then it just kind of is metastasized into like, either you have Facebook, which is now like weirdly like clickbait AI posts. It's really weird now over there. It's a weird jungle over there. Then you have Pinterest, which is like a lot of AI garbage, with like ads thrown in them in between. The best one I've been on is Blue Sky, but that one's kind of starting to, you know, I don't know. I'm starting to see the limits of that user base. I feel like they're I don't know if they're still growing or not, but I really like it over there, but I just don't see myself using it as often. Yeah, it's wild. You just get like, either you get lost in it because you're focusing on it so much, or you get lost in it trying to sift through whatever garbage you're trying to like get rid of. It's just a mess. And it's just gotten to the point too now where you're like, if you don't engage with social media, you almost feel like guilty. Like, you know what I mean? Like especially being a freelancer who's trying to get work all the time, it's like social media is like a huge boon to like, social media is like a huge boon in terms of like trying to network and get that work. So if you like take a break from social media, you feel like you either are like, you get like FOMO, like you feel like you're like missing out on like potential opportunities, or like you feel like since you're not there, you're like losing work for some reason. It sucks. It just sucks. But man, I just have gotten so exhausted with social media. It's like, I'm tired of seeing everyone just arguing with each other. It just sucks. Just such a sucky vibe. Well, see, I actually always felt like Twitter always felt like that. I mean, I kind of got, I was on Twitter early around, I signed up in like 2008-ish, but I never really got into using it until like 2014. I just like didn't really touch it for a long time. So I know I'm sure at some point it was not as negative, but now it just like, I mean, even back then it was very divisive back then, but like you could see where the pendulum mostly swung. You can kind of be like, okay, like it's mostly this, and there's like a couple of really loud people that are super negative. Now it just kind of feels a little more, it does definitely feel a little more like even, like I don't really know how to word it. Like, it's just like, it definitely just feels like everyone's mad all the time. It's just like, but we know people deep down aren't. It's just like, I don't know. But also the algorithm like encourage it, like there's been like proof that like algorithms like encourage negativity, you know, like they want you to get raged, and they want you to like, because like rage bait makes clicks, you know. It just sucks. So I hear a lot of like contrarian opinions about movies that like, I bet you this person didn't even actually care about, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, cool, like you hated this movie, but like a bunch of other people loved it, and that's okay. Like, it's cool. You don't have to love everything. But like in a world where like if you were talking face to face with somebody about a movie that they didn't like or whatever, it would pretty much stop at, I didn't like this. Oh, why? Oh, I didn't like it because of this. oh cool, I liked it for this reason, great, and it kind of just stops there usually. But social media tends to kind of drag that out a lot longer and create all this, and then a lot of people jump in on it, and I don't know. It's weird though, because like there are moments where like I do like Twitter, like I'm like, oh yeah, cool, like I discover new art that way, like, and like there's people that like it brings attention to certain things that are going on that like need attention brought to it, and like, so for better or for worse, there are good parts to it, but it's just those good parts are becoming less and less, especially ever since a certain autocrat or whatever decided to buy up the company and turn it into propaganda for whatever he wants. Yeah, I kind of feel like I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that Twee White Fang for sure. But I do think that's just kind of been that's like post 2012 internet in general. Like it's just like it's been like that since like smartphones have like it's been like that since smartphones have become a commonplace for people. You know what I mean? Like in 2005 when smartphones were invented, only certain people had them. Everyone else had Motorola Razors and stuff, but they were still on Twitter, like on their computers at home and stuff, Facebook, all that stuff. But I think once we kind of got constant unfettered access to it and unfettered amounts of information constantly thrown at us, it's definitely instilled a lot more rage and a lot more anger, because you're starting to get more information, which is good, but then you're getting too much information, and you're not being drip fed the information. It's like a flood of information, and all of it's overwhelming, all of it's bad. You're finding out everything sucks because the people in charge suck, and you're just like, oh man, like it feels very hopeless. So then you just get mad about it, and everyone's just mad all the time, which is a bummer, because I feel like because I also think that all that rage, like sometimes it creates strong action and counteraction, but I also think a lot of the time it creates inaction, and it creates a lot of people to just like sit there and feel hopeless and feel like, what can I do about this problem? And so nobody does anything. And I don't know, maybe that's intentional, maybe it's not, I don't know. So yeah, I've just kind of gone down to like, I really like posting on Patreon, like long form posts, using it as like a blog. I'm trying to basically time travel back to like 2004, you know what I mean? Like 2003. I don't have a live journal, but like Patreon's basically become that, I get to kind of talk in depth about like what I'm making, what I'm working on, ideas I have. And YouTube and Twitch and like streaming and stuff, that's been really nice as well. Aside from like, the occasional spam that's like, get more followers or whatever. It's like, that shit annoys me. But other than that, I really like streaming. I do wish I could get around to doing more game streams. I've been wanting to play some Magic the Gathering. I'm just waiting for a time where I feel like I could justify it a little better. Okay, she's looking good so far. Yeah. Well, it's wild though, is like the internet was still trash then, right? Like there's still a bunch of shitty people on there, right? But at least you didn't hear from all of them. You know what I mean? They were definitely screaming more into a void back then. Man, Potato, like for sure, dude. I I made a green and white deck in Magic the Gathering, like, I don't know, maybe like a year ago, 2 years ago. That was when I actually started playing Magic the Gathering. I was actually pretty late to the game. I was more into like Pokemon trading card game. I'm really into Lorcana right now. Lorcana is just so rad. But no, I made a green-white deck for a while that I really liked. But then I took a long break because I was realizing I was like, I'm either spending too much time playing this game, or sometimes I just think the game is so busted that I'm just like, I don't usually get mad at games, but I feel like I've gotten mad a couple times at that game. Just because you have some mechanics that just seem so bonkers broken. It's weird. But anyway, then they put out Bloomburrow, and I was like, I'm in. I made a Bloomburrow deck, and I love it. I love it so much, and I'm having so much fun with it. I love the theme of Duskmourn. I don't think I like the art very much of Duskmourn. I think there's some art in Duskmourn that I'm like the lands of Duskmourn, sick. They look awesome. All of them look rad. But something about like a lot of the faces on the artwork of the characters and stuff just looks off-putting. Like it doesn't look like, it's not like they're bad. It just doesn't seem to like match the like level that you usually see in like Magic the Gathering cards. Like, and I'm just like, something about them just kind of seems a little like low budge. I don't know. I don't want to be a hater. I think good on whoever artists, got hired for it. It looks great. It's just like, you compare it to like, it's weird because you just went from Bloomburrow, right? Which has like, in my opinion, some of the best Magic the Gathering artwork I've seen in a long time. And like one's like, was it Kamigawa or whatever? The one that's like futuristic samurai kind of thing. That has some sick art in it also. And like any like Zendikar set, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff has so much. But like Duskmourn, I love the theme about it. Like this like kind of retro, like it's like futuristic fantasy, but like the future is actually just like 1980. You know what I mean? Or like 1990, like early PC mixed with swords, which I love that idea. Like set in like a haunted house or something. But yeah, the lands are super captivating. The lands like are just so captivating. Everything's so interesting about them. And like some of the, the enchantments and stuff. But I think whenever they get like a character they focus on, I haven't been super in love with those. But I think the set's interesting. I think I might make a Duskmourn set. Maybe I'll stream that. But I want to stream my Bloomburrow one first. But yeah, no, I think Bloomburrow has probably been my favorite set in a while. I didn't really dig the Wild West one. That's just me though. I'm not a fan of Wild West stuff in general. So it wasn't going to grip me regardless. But I think that's my one complaint about Magic the Gathering is like they have all these cool ideas for sets, but they release way too many sets. Like hang on to those, man. Like do like maybe one set like they're definitely not quarterly, right? It's like bi-monthly at this rate. I feel like it has to be bi-monthly. And and I'm just gonna say this. If you're releasing that much and making that much art, why aren't you hiring me? I've submitted my portfolio so many times. I gotta at least fit in one of these sets. You're hiring thousands of artists. Come on, just throw a bone. Throw me a bone. Let me do like a token. Like I don't care. If anyone knows any art directors over there. I've submitted my portfolio to what I thought was like how you do it. Like they used to have an art drop email, but I don't think they use that anymore. I'm bummed because I started getting into Pokemon trading card game again recently because my kid was into it, and like he quickly just like he's still into it, but he doesn't want to like play it as much anymore. And I'm like, I was having so much fun. But like I was like, okay, I'll just play the app, but their app is such trash. And I think it was because it was beta, it was like early access or something like that. But like, man, it sucked. It was really bad.
And it like depressed me because I was like, man, I love the Pokemon trading card game, and I think Pokemon should have a better app, especially if they're the most lucrative property in the world. Not loving that. I don't know if that's a good idea. What do y'all think so far? We're doing all right. Thank you, thank you. I'm glad you dig it. Yeah, I think the hair came out pretty sick. Pretty happy with it. Seth Petrillo, looking good. Are most of your commissions digital? Most of them are. I'm working on doing some traditional art, but unfortunately, I haven't been able to get to a point where I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it looks good, but I haven't opened those up yet. I'm also trying to work on like how would I ship traditional art, especially if people want like a larger size, you know what I mean? That would just get really pricey. With the digital, I can just, send it to my printer and they'll mail it to you, like it's a lot easier, and you get a high-res file of it and stuff, which, yeah. Yeah, the hair I really like. I think I'm gonna keep it like pretty loose for the most part, because I'm actually really liking how loose it is at the moment. I feel like it just kind of looks good the way it is. Yeah, I mean, I love doing traditional art. I actually like it a lot more than digital when I do it. It feels really much more grounded and relaxing. Even if you make a mistake, it's not like... it's a lot safer to make a mistake digitally, obviously, for obvious reasons. Yeah, no, I have a printer that handles prints and stuff like for my shop, and I just go through them. It's relatively inexpensive. It's only like like $10 or whatever for like a high quality print from them. So like it's not too bad, and I'd rather them handle it because they've handled how to ship prints and stuff of various sizes, so they got that all kind of taken care of. But yeah, no, I'd love to do more traditional stuff. I really enjoy it. It's more just kind of figuring out those like logistics. Again, much like the software dilemma, it's like you got to invest the time to figure it out, and it's just every time I'm about to invest the time, I get a ton of work, and I'm just like, well, I can't invest any more time. So, and that's happening even with like, unfortunately, like my board game Rune Rally. Like it's like I'm so close to being done, and it's like I just need like an hour to get this taken care of. And I'm like, but I need to get these commissions done. So it's like, you just gotta be like, all right, I'll get an hour next week. And you just gotta like kind of hope that you can manage the time well. And then you have, like life stuff happens, like kids get sick or you get sick or work comes up, like more pressing stuff kind of comes up, and you just kind of, like I have another tabletop game I've been working on called Pages of Fate. It is a tabletop adventure game. It's like a deck building adventure game. I've basically been working on it for like 10 years. And it sounds like a daunting number, but if you were to condense all the time I've actually spent on it, it's more like 2.5, 3 years. So it's like, it's still a long time, but like, it's just been pushed to the side so much all the time, because it was being made as a passion project at the same time where I was like planning when I was having kids, and then also while I was gearing up to leave my job as a graphic designer to pursue being a freelancer full time. So it just kind of pushed stuff off for like 5 or 6, maybe even 7 out of those 10 years. And like I didn't do my first play test of Pages of Fate until like 2017-ish, 2018, 2017, and then I completely overhauled the game, and then I did a couple more play tests, and now it's like the game is done, but now there's like things like the writing and all the artwork. So yeah. For sure. It's weird because like you also love it. You know what I mean? It's really bizarre, and like I don't want to say that just because like I think it's okay for people to be like, man, I hate being a parent right now. It's so rough. Like, and there are days where I feel like that for sure. There are moments in every day where I kind of am like, what the fuck? But overall, I do love it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I really feel lucky sometimes, but yeah, your time's no longer your own, and you gotta like try to claim that time for sure. But no, it's been awesome overall though. But yeah, so then what happened was in like 2023, I wrote ideas out for a bunch of other games because I didn't want to let them go. I have Cartography Quest, which is another game that I have the concept for. It's super early, so I haven't messed with it. There's a game I'm working on with my brother that we actually hammered out a lot of it the other day, and that is really exciting and fun. Then there's Rune Rally, which I wrote down in a note in my notes app, like, I don't know, a year and a half ago. And then I just randomly dove into it one day. And I was like, let me just like bang out a play test and see what happens. And I played it like with my kid, because that's kind of the target demo, is like, 6+ kind of thing. It's supposed to be kind of really goofy and silly. And he loved it. He made his own tile set for a track. Like even now, like he still wants to play it all the time. And I was like, man, this really feels a lot of fun and it feels great. So then I just like dove into it and like really went into making it. I made all the spell cards. I made the card backings. I did 2 tracks currently out of 4. You can check it all out on the Patreon. You just search Rune Rally and you'll see RUNE, Rune Rally, RALLY. You can see all the posts that I have talking about it. I still got to make a collection of it, which I think is more handy for people. But yeah, you can see me. You can see the progress of that whole game so far, and it's come a long way. And every playtest has been so fun. Like I can't stress enough like how much fun we have when we playtest it. And even that though, like that really bums me out, because it's like when you can't work on it and you feel really passionate about it, you're like, all right, I'll just wait. But then like your passion kind of goes because you're exhausted, and you're just gonna be like, all right, well, I'll wait again. So like, I don't know, it's hard, trying to balance all that, but we'll get there. We'll figure it out. I'm not that worried about it. We'll be all right. But like, I set up a lofty deadline for Rune Rally, and I did not hit it, unfortunately, because of work came up, everyone got sick and all that stuff. My goal to finish it was July, and unfortunately we did not. I got close. Alright, we're gonna wrap up in like 10 minutes. It's been a lot of fun streaming today, guys. Thank you so much for coming out, everybody, on YouTube and on Twitch. Super grateful for all the support. Really love it. And I should be back. I'm going to look at the schedule really quick. Yep, we have a stream scheduled for tomorrow as well. So I should be back, probably just doing more of this. Either this or a different character. Probably a different character. I'm hoping to finish this tonight. But if not, I'll still stream a different character either way, just to work on a different one. we are overdue for a last minute minis stream as well. Gotta paint the new set that patrons voted on a while back. The winner of that one was Mimics, but it was actually tied with Squirrel Folk. So I think I'll do Mimics this time, and the next one will be Squirrel Folk. And then hopefully I can release the Squirrel Folk painting I'm making. I'll do that for the print club as well. All right, actually, you know what? We're going to just stop there. God, that's looking good. I'm so happy with it. Here, let's zoom in on there for you guys. Definitely get like some finer details to do. I'm going to kind of keep a lot of it relatively loose. Yeah. So here's, you know, kind of a zoom in here for you guys before we sign off. Gotta still work on like the chest area. There's definitely just like some fabric folds that need to be fixed. The waist, I want to add a little bit more detailing. Add some texture to the belt a little bit. You know, a little bit in everywhere. I think the legs are pretty much done. I don't mind keeping them a little looser. Tail's pretty much done. Maybe add some red to it just to kind of like give it a little more, you know, just some different color variation, you know. Still a little like, you know, messy in spots. And we got to kind of paint like, they didn't order a background in their commission, so I'm just going to paint like a loose, like overgrown brick wall that fades out into the watercolor splash that's going behind the character. Thinking nighttime kind of vibe, so darker. Yeah, that's where we're at. Thank you all so much for coming by this stream. I really appreciate it. I'll be back hopefully tomorrow. If not, maybe I'll do Thursday. But yeah, thank you all so much for coming by. Patreon.com/Creative Outpouring if you want to follow it for free, or for paid tiers, there's perks for that too. Check it out, please. Also, follow me on Twitch here, and so you get notified when I stream next. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you again soon. See you later.